and welcome to the Containment Vault. I'm your host AJ, and today we'll be creating audio files for SCP-028 through SCP-030. Thank you for joining me, and let's get to work. SCP-028 Knowledge. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. No special means are needed to contain at this time, as SCP-028 has not shown any change in size, position, or shape during the entire period of its containment, but access must be restricted. Currently, SCP-028 is contained on site, redacted, as SCP-028 is not transportable by any means. SCP-028 is sealed in a 6x6x3 meter, or 20x20x10 foot, concrete room with a single door with 2 armed personnel stationed outside. Only authorized personnel are allowed exposure to SCP-028, and extreme care must be taken at all times. While SCP-028 is itself harmless, the effect can be very damaging to the unprepared. See document EL-028-1125. Description: SCP-028 is located in an abandoned storage yard outside a copper mine in northern Michigan. SCP-028 has no detectable physical presence of any kind, but its effect occurs in a 2.1 meter or 7 foot cube around what is commonly held as the center of SCP-028. All forms of scanning and testing in the area of SCP-028 have shown no abnormal readings. Adding or removing objects or attempting to remove dirt from under SCP-028 has no effect in altering the size or shape of SCP-028's area of effect, nor the onset or quality of the effect. Subjects entering SCP-028 are, within 3 to 6 seconds, struck by total and complete knowledge of a subject. This knowledge is thus far completely random in both size and usefulness, and sometimes goes unnoticed or for extended periods of time. More profound knowledge generally has a stronger effect, with some cases expunged. See document EL-028-1125. This effect can be experienced multiple times by exiting and re-entering SCP-028, but can result in increasingly strong migraines and dizziness after 2 exposures. SCP-028 came into the Foundation's attention after research into news reports of a local miner who submitted a design for a cold fusion reactor to the U.S. Patent Office. Dr. Redacted reported that it just came to me, like a bolt out of the blue. News and subjects were suppressed and contained after discovery of SCP-028 and the reactor designs implemented in the containment of SCP-1195. Subsequent testing of SCP-028 has yielded mixed results. Document EL-028-1114. Partial information reveal log for 1-5 redacted. Note: all knowledge is perfect, total, and eidetic. Every phone book entry for New York City in 1998. How to redesign the internal combustion engine to run on human blood using only pre-existing parts. Note: fuel redesign takes 4 hours and runs at higher efficiency than gasoline. Location for keys for a Buick LeSabre. The proper method of care for a mole rat colony. Origin and history of 12 SCP objects. Note: the main expunged. Family history of the Blackthorn family, located in London, England. And geological structure of the Earth beneath Greenland, including several unknown caves and data expunged. Document EL-028-1125. Log. E-112. Subject D-1182 exposed to SCP-028. Subject began to cry and went into fetal position, showing signs of high distress. Unresponsive to questioning and outside stimulus for several days. Lapsed into catatonia shortly after stating that this is not life. Subject passed into a coma and died shortly thereafter. Cause of death was attributed to shock. E-127, Agent Redacted, accidentally exposed to SCP-028. Agent showed signs of sudden surprise and bemusement. When questioned, Agent requested a moment to gather my thoughts, please. After several seconds, Agent laughed, shook his head, and removed his service pistol from his holster. Agent then shot and wounded Dr. Redacted and killed agents Redacted and Redacted before being restrained. Post-incident interrogation revealed Agent Redacted had extensive knowledge of classified Foundation activities and several SCP projects he had not been previously exposed to, including SCP-2669. Any Foundation personnel found to have entered SCP-028's area of effect are to be detained indefinitely. Document EL-028-1128 Log. Experiment 189. Subject D-9843 was exposed to SCP-028 on a redacted date at 11:46. Examination of subject revealed abnormal respiratory actions on a redacted date at 13:37. Questioning revealed subject had learned to recycle the carbon dioxide inside his body. Redacted date at 17:21. Repeated attempts to teach skill to other D-Class personnel failed. Redacted date 12:11. Subject terminated on a redacted date at 15:03. Autopsy reveals an abnormal organ formations on a redacted date at 18:37. Researcher's notes, Dr. Redacted. Seriously, how the hell did he do that? SCP-029. Not available. Well, this is just a staff placeholder? This following page has been created as a staff placeholder as part of the ongoing Brightworks project and the selected proposal. What is the Brightworks project? Yeah, I have no idea what this is, but it looks like maybe it's above my pay grade, so guess we'll just go on to the next one. SCP-030, the Homunculus. Object Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-030 is to be held at Site-17 within a modified humanoid containment cell. Minor adaptations to accommodate its stature, such as an appropriately scaled workspace and chair, are to be included. Lighting within the cell may be altered upon request of SCP-030 to a maximum of 2,000 lumens via a simple dimmer switch. Should the need to render SCP-030 inert arise, staff may extinguish the lighting from the exterior switch and draw blackout curtains as necessary. Standard night vision equipment is available for observation of SCP-030 in its inert state. SCP-030 may request materials for personal research every 90 days. All previously requested materials are to be collected and destroyed prior to delivery of any new materials. All materials are to be evaluated and screened by both research and security staff. SCP-030 is to be denied access to any modern scientific journals or texts, and fiction is to be restricted to works produced no later than 1623 CE to preserve the integrity of its innate knowledge. Staff wishing to consult with SCP-030 in writing are to place a formal request, document number 030-RSB, with the supervising researcher on duty. All correspondence is to be retained. Staff wishing to consult with SCP-030 in person are to submit a formal request to Site Management, document 030-RPA 17-030A, at least 30 days prior to their preferred consultation date. All consultations are to be recorded and retained. Senior research staff may request SCP-030 be temporarily removed from its containment for a maximum of 1 hour to provide observational insight into non-restricted materials or events within Site-17. Under no circumstances is SCP-030 to leave the confines of Site-17. Requests must be presented in person to Site Management and security staff at least 30 days prior to their preferred observational release date. All observational release events are to be recorded and retained. SCP-030 has been equipped with a tracking device, Inventory Control Code number 030-17-1, so its location within Site-17 may be determined precisely at any time. Description: SCP-030 appears as a hairless, genderless, gray-toned human 71 centimeters or 28 inches in height and weighing 12.7 kilograms, 2 British stone in an antiquated measure. Its solid blue eyes lack discernible irises or pupils and resemble small cut sapphires. SCP-030 possesses an androgynous voice with a pronounced English accent not currently identifiable as specific to any modern region. It is able to converse, read and write in ancient Greek, Latin, Italian, English, Spanish, and Portuguese, as well as 2 additional languages that have not yet been identified, despite SCP-030's insistence that they should be common knowledge. SCP-030 has also demonstrated knowledge of physics, chemistry, astronomy, mathematics, and horticulture, roughly equivalent to that of a 17th century CE academic. In addition, SCP-030 has demonstrated knowledge on these topics along research lines that do not appear in the historical record. These alternative or entirely unknown approaches to research in the natural sciences are one source of SCP-030's utility in consultation. SCP-030 remains active while a 15 lumen source of light or greater is in 1.5 meters or 5 feet. In the absence of light, SCP-030 becomes inert, apparently losing consciousness and showing no outward signs of life. Within 5 to 10 seconds of being re-exposed to light, SCP-030 becomes active once more, appearing to come out of a light slumber no matter how long the period of inactivity has been. SCP-030 does not appear to require these periods of inactivity as a human would require sleep, and has expressed a desire to remain active as often as possible. Biopsy analysis of SCP-030 remains inconclusive. While clays native to the English counties of Kent, Surrey, and Greater London make up the majority of its structure, traces of mandrake, lye, mercury, and human blood have been found in each sample taken. SCP-030 has expressed that a full exploratory surgery to determine its workings would potentially end its existence. Samples removed from SCP-030 do not regenerate, and sampling is currently discontinued to preserve its integrity. Although SCP-030 can be damaged, it does not appear to feel pain and will simply remold any portion of its anatomy that experiences deformation. Notably, SCP-030 cannot be molded directly by human hands, though any number of tools may be used to alter its surface. SCP-030 does not respirate, requires no sustenance, and produces no waste, although it does infrequently request a bath. SCP-030 refers to itself as Ariel, and regularly requests that staff do the same. Questions regarding how SCP-030 was created and by whom are routinely answered with the seemingly rote statement, "I have been asked to forget that bit of information. Terribly sorry." SCP-030 delivers this response in the same tone and cadence each time any question regarding its origins or creator are presented. Given its composition and location of origin, a link to the alchemists of Alagata is suspected. SCP-030 was discovered 6/12 redacted during a mandatory archaeological survey within London's Mortlake district pending construction of a car park. It was buried approximately 2.7 meters or 9 feet below street level, contained in a small stone sarcophagus. The sarcophagus bore no markings and was assumed to be that of a deceased infant, as additional graves were discovered in the survey area. The sarcophagus lid was shattered during the excavation, exposing SCP-030 to daylight. Upon being struck by the sun's rays, SCP-030 roused from its inert state to one of mild activity within a few seconds, stating, "Good afternoon," to the assembled construction team. A member of the Foundation's Greater London Recon Force was summoned within hours and took the specimen into custody without resistance. The limited number of witnesses were given amnestics and released. Addendum 1. Document 030-C. Security logs for SCP-030. 9/14 redacted. Tracking system installed for SCP-030. 12/21 redacted. SCP-030 reports malfunction of its own tracking system. Repairs completed within 6 hours. SCP-030 offers to assist but is refused for security purposes. 3/13 redacted. SCP-030 completes 18-week seminar on unknown language Alpha, quote-unquote, Zephyr. 5 staff researchers considered fluent. Lexicography transmitted to 05-redacted. 7/2 redacted. While in consultation, researcher redacted inadvertently makes several remarks regarding photovoltaic technology. Consultation ended before the researcher can Consultation ended before the researcher can substantively elaborate. 8.12 redacted. SCP-030 requests a supply of magnesium and indicates it intends to ignite samples to study the light produced. Request denied by researchers. 11.14 redacted. Incident 030-1. Using only what appears to be a standard potting soil. Using only what appears to be standard potting soil, ginger, a 72-gram sample of rutilated quartz, and a 23-centimeter length of coiled copper wire, SCP-030 produces an object/device capable of emitting notable levels of directed ultraviolet light through unknown means. Device is confiscated. Effects not currently replicable without direct intervention from SCP-030. Researchers currently in consultation to determine if this line of SCP-030's research will be permitted to continue. It is speculated SCP-030 may be working towards an alternative and possibly anomalous manifestation of the photoelectric effect after receiving only minimal information regarding its existence. All research by SCP-030 suspended and materials removed pending review. And that concludes today's files. I'm your host, AJ, and as always, secure, contain, protect.